Behind every CXO title, there is a story, a struggle, a spark. Manobala isn't about designations, it's about the human behind the success. Manobala, connecting great minds. Welcome to CXO Journey and HR Mantra, presented by Manobala. This episode is proudly sponsored by SoMark Spaces, where design meets purpose, creating interiors that inspire the way you live, work, and connect.
Sir, my next question is, how do you see the role of learning leaders evolving in the age of AI and disruptions?
So I think in the era of AI and disruption, the learning leaders will have to look at their organizations, their workforce, and see how is AI and technology going to disrupt the workforce. First question is, which are the jobs that will get eliminated? Which are the jobs that will get repurposed? The jobs will exist, but in a different shape.
True.
And the third question they should ask is, which new jobs will emerge, right? So they have to build a strategy around that. Some people will become redundant, right?
Correct.
Because the jobs will no longer exist. Some people will continue to have their jobs, but in a very different shape and form. The current skills will not be good enough. And the third set of jobs should be jobs which will emerge, which don't exist today. And they have to really devise a strategy where they can cater to all these three different aspects. People whose jobs are going to go away need to be reskilled for something else. People whose jobs will actually undergo some kind of change, they have to be probably upskilled on the new aspects. And some other people will have to be reskilled or cross-skilled. I think that's where the important role is, how proactively they understand that and have a strategy which is actually not reactive, where they're not in a catching up mode, where the change has already hit the organization and they're trying to figure out what to do. But I think L&D and HR leaders really will have to foresee the change, how it is going to impact in these three different areas, and how they have a strategy where they can execute at speed and also at scale.
Very good. Sir, I just wanted to ask, what is one bold change you believe HR leader must embrace but often resist?
The bold change is HR leaders will have to move from being order takers to influencers, right? Most HR leaders operate as order takers, right? And they're comfortable with that status. But I say that you move out of that status. You are not just order takers from the management or the leadership. You are influencers, right? So sometimes leaders don't want to take the risk of trying something, pushing back, right? Challenging the leadership. But I'm saying that's the bold step that they have to take if they have to remain relevant. If they just have to carry out orders, anybody can do it. They're not going to bring in any value.
They don't need human. It's need robot.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. As someone deeply involved in skilling, what are the top 3 skills for future ready professionals?
Great question. And while a lot of people get tempted to say technology, I'm not going to talk about technology, that's a given. In my opinion, the 3 important skills, the first one would be curiosity. Because the world is changing all the time, and one has to be really curious to understand, know, learn more. And so that, to me, that's the most important trait or attribute. Second one is dealing with ambiguity. The world is ambiguous, it's volatile. It's important that we learn to become comfortable with discomfort. To me, that's the second most important skill. The third one is empathy. if one develops these three attributes, in my opinion, the rest will follow.
True. How do you ensure that learning is not just consumed, but actually changes behavior and culture?
I try to ensure that by doing two things. One is taking people closer to reality. So behavior change happens only when people do something different, new.
True.
Right? Because it has to become a habit. So unless we create an ecosystem, opportunities where people apply what they learn, the behavior will never change. Right? So in my opinion, learning is not complete until the behavior shift has happened. Right? Otherwise, it is only theoretical. So I create enough opportunity to make learning experiential, action learning, creating opportunities for people to apply. And then the other thing that I always try out is bringing leaders to share their stories of successes and failures. It makes it more real to them.
True.
Right?
It will be connect.
Yes. So storytelling is a very powerful way where you see the reality, and hear it from somebody who has lived it.
Right. So, my very, you can say, personal question: how do you stay grounded when leading at a global scale?
When you look at your purpose, in the grand scheme of things, your position, title, everything is irrelevant. It is the larger purpose that matters. So I always keep that in mind, that there is a larger purpose to achieve, and my title, position, everything is irrelevant, right? I'm here to just do a job. And I think that thinking keeps me grounded all the time.
Of course, because I keep telling to everyone, one of my leader has teach me, as soon as you enter any building, the security guard, receptionist, housekeeping, or CEO, everyone doing their job.
Exactly.
We should respect.
Yes.
We should empathize.
Yes.
And we should deal with the same way which we are dealing with the CEO.
Yes.
Same respect we should having everybody. In the day, everybody doing the job.
Absolutely true.
Their job.
Very true.
Good. Sir, I wanted to, after a career of 25 years, okay, what does legacy mean to you today?
Well, I won't say that I have, I really have built a legacy or anything. It's a humble effort to keep doing something which has relevance and meaning. If at all there is a legacy that I would like to leave behind, would be a legacy where young people in our country realizing their dreams, having a sense of purpose and achievement, and unleashing their true potential, right? If I make a difference to a few youngsters, which would be transformative in nature for them, I think that probably would be the legacy.
Good. Sir, how do you mentor or coach emerging HR leaders, and what do you look for in future ready talent?
I interact with a lot of emerging HR leaders, and what I try to do is, as a philosophy, I try to understand these youngsters, to find out what they can bring to the table, and also to find out what's bothering them, right? These two things. What they can bring to the table is the possibility that they have, the outcomes they can create. What is bothering them is the obstacle on the way, right? It could be mental, internal, it could be external. So I work on those two different areas. Try to help them unleash their own potential, remove the roadblocks they have. That's my coaching mantra.
Right. Almost we are in last stage of questions, this podcast. So few very, you can say, connective questions to the, what advice would you give to HR students and young professionals who feel lost in their AI-driven competitive world?
Is a very generic piece of advice, or my 2 cents should be, okay. What I've learned in my life is all of us want to become happy. And the secret to getting happiness is giving happiness to others. Give happiness to others, you will get happiness in plenty. Give peace to others, you will find peace in plenty. I think that is the piece of advice that I would like to leave with before signing off.
Okay. Last 2 questions. How do you view the relationship between purpose, performance, and personal growth in leadership?
I think it begins with purpose. If the purpose is very clear, then I rally everything, my own potential, resources, everything to achieve my purpose. And third, what is the third thing you said?
Purpose, performance, and personal growth in leadership.
Okay. So I think it starts with purpose. If you're clear about your purpose, then you rally everything around that, right? Your performance, your resources, everything rallies around that. So because you perform to achieve your purpose. And if you perform to achieve your purpose, personal growth happens naturally. Today in this world, personal growth is not possible without performance. Like if Virat Kohli doesn't perform on the ground, he cannot take his position to be granted, or any sports person, any professional for that matter. So performance does matter, but performance has to be linked to a larger purpose. Otherwise, it is meaningless. And if these both are tied together, growth is going to happen automatically. So one doesn't have to chase growth, one has to chase the purpose. Growth will happen on its own.
Right. So I think my favorite question which I wanted to ask, spirituality. How we can relate spirituality into corporate or in any corporate professional to get out best in their personal, you can say, wisdom or performance in their life, as per you.
So traditionally, people differentiate between spiritual world and the corporate world. It is believed that the corporate world is a material world.
Correct.
Right? And the spiritual world is a different world. But I believe these are two. They're not separate from each other. Like the water and ice and the water vapor, right? They're different forms of the same thing, right? So to me, spiritual world deals with spirit, material world deals with matter, right? But Einstein's equation E is equal to mc square has already proved that matter and energy are inseparable. They're just different forms of each other.
Right.
So in my opinion, spiritual world is the cause behind the material world, right? Spirit is the cause behind the matter. Energy is the cause behind matter. Matter is condensed form of energy. So if you want to become successful in the material world, first we have to achieve excellence in spiritual world, right? Spiritual world is about energy, right? If you don't focus on energy, our thoughts, ideas, then how are we going to transform them into a material world? If I want to buy an expensive watch, first I have to, have that idea, the thought, right? The thought translates into an object. So a thought translates into an object. Great thoughts translate into great objects, right? Great spirit translates into great matter. Success in spiritual world can lead to success in material world.
It was very interesting discussion, sir, and I really enjoyed this podcast, especially the series which we are running, the CXO's journey and the HR mantras. And I think I have got lots of HR mantras from this, which will help in terms of our young HR professionals, HR students, and the other professionals who want to do the best in their life. Thank you so much for coming and attending this podcast, sir. I really admire and thank you so much.
Thank you, Anil, for the opportunity. I enjoyed this conversation with you.
Thank you so much, sir. So this was the end for today's podcast. Keep watching, keep sharing. Next time with new leaders, new personality from different industry, from different personality will be the our show. Keep watching. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.